So who are you?
I'm Nadav Gore. I'm the founder of WorldMate. Been running this company for over 10 years now. Prior to that, quite a few years in the aerospace software systems industry. And WorldMate's quite a ride. I mean, 10 years. We started as a Palm applications company before mobile apps were even a term. Built everything from games to mobile banking systems. About 5-6 years ago, focused on one product that was doing extremely well, WorldMate. Threw away everything else and tried to focus on that point where mobility meets travel distribution, travel content, travel services. Been doing that ever since.
So what's happening in the travel space, and what are you guys trying to, and what does WorldMate do for a traveler?
So first of all, mobility is happening to the travel space in a big way. I mean, it's happening in every area that is connected to the internet, right? Yeah. But travel and mobility are almost one of the same. You know, travel is moving from place to place. You need mobile technology to keep you connected. It's just obvious. You know, travelers have always been the early adopters of mobile technology, especially business travelers. They're the first people to buy laptops, the first people to buy pagers, smartphones, you know, data networks. That was all built for them, right?
Yeah.
So we realized that quite a few years ago, in the beginning of the decade. At the time, the interesting story. At the time, we had the first bundling agreement with Palm, where our software was pre-installed on Palm devices, and Palm told us, "Look, why don't you take this step further? Because we feel that the customers." They want more, and you can charge them more. Why don't you go there? And he said, you know what, great. So at the time we had like weather and clocks and currencies. We said, let's add flight schedules and itinerary and see what happens. And it kind of, boom, we doubled or tripled our revenue from that product line. That was back in 2003. I said, okay, we're onto something. So we started looking at travel. And regardless of what's happening with mobility, travel is also a space that's changed so much over the last 10 years. I mean, look at the space. The biggest companies in the space now, Priceline, Expedia, Kayak, these are companies that just did not exist 10 years ago. 10, 12 years ago, you didn't have a Priceline, didn't have an Expedia. Yeah. So the internet has really, really changed travel, and travel is generally a huge business. It's like the number one, they claim that it's the number one a segment in world GDP. So the next thing that's happening really is mobility, adding another layer on top of that, changing the rules again, allowing people to make decisions at the last minute, allowing people to adapt the decisions to where they are, allowing, you know, online travel distribution to go beyond the stuff that you would usually book ahead of time, like a flight and your hotel, to the stuff that you make decisions on when you're there, like the attractions you're going to visit, or whether you do want to pay for the bag to be checked in or not. And these things are really, really coming together. And I think everyone in travel understands that mobility is going to be another wave of disruption really for their industry. Yep. And the other thing that we're seeing is that some people in mobility, you know, some of the big device/service creators like the Apples and the Nokias and the Rims of the world, they realize that there's going to be a big opportunity there, and they too are moving into that space. Yep. And we like that because we've always, you know, said this is going to happen, and we've always kind of been bearing the torch and leading the vision, I think, in that area. So it's an interesting time for us.
Yeah, you're about, or when this video runs, the product might even be out. But you're about to announce new features that do some cool stuff for a traveler, right? Like tell me about it.
Yeah, so we're going to announce TripCatch, which is really kind of a new technology that sits within WorldMate that automates the process of capturing your itinerary. Now, the way everyone, you know, books travel today, wherever they book, someone sends them a confirmation email. And you had companies like us and others who had you forward the confirmation email such that we could parse it and extract information. And that's nice, but it's ultimately, kind of a manual process. So what TripCatch does is it sits on the mobile device. It realizes someone just sent you a message, and it just captures the message and extracts information directly and builds your itinerary automatically, so fully automated. Now, if you consider that alongside the other level of integration that we have with the mobile device, now we already do things like take your flights and hotels and put them in your calendar. Take your meetings from your calendar, find out where they are, geocode them, and add that to your itinerary so that you can see your entire itinerary on a map and navigate from point to point and so on. So now we're able to figure out that part, the bookings, automatically too. So you kind of have this environment that really knows what you've planned, what you've booked automatically. Everything is on your mobile device. You can always access the details, and you always get information in real time if something changes, which is something we've always done.
I find this very interesting. I expect a lot of companies to be doing things that watch email and do things in reaction to them. You're doing it client side, so on the BlackBerry phone, you're watching it on client. Does that take much battery?
No,
is it running all the time? Is it taking RAM away from my device or battery?
It doesn't affect the device in any meaningful way, because the platform there is built to let you kind of listen to specific stuff. So it's not like you have to really run in the background all the time. The platform, triggers something when something you're listening to is there. So it doesn't add any significant drain on resources. Yeah. Some platforms are built that way. Can
you do it server side? So can you watch like Gmail or Exchange? Rackspace has a lot of Exchange customers. Could you watch the Exchange server itself and be triggering those events?
So theoretically, we could apply that same technology. We actually had an Outlook add-in that does, well, we kind of triggered that functionality off there, but it actually had the thing running, and we tried it in testing. And we may decide to do the server side too, and or even, PC side as well, especially in the case of operating system, mobile operating systems that don't allow us that access to the email, at least until they do, which ultimately they will, because everyone wants to have this type of cool automation and functionality. And so we're looking to introduce this more broadly in the longer term, but in the short term, we're doing it directly on the device, and it allows us to do some cool things on the device, because we can pop up stuff in real time that you need. I'll give you an example of some stuff that will be coming later. Intersecting stuff like the fact that you need to check in and with the time, and then storing and popping up things like boarding passes at the right time. It's just really what you want your mobile device to do.
United
for you, right?
now, at least in New York, has electronic boarding passes. It's really cool. You just hold your iPhone over a scanner or whatever your phone is, and it has a barcode on it, and it scans right in. You don't even have to print out your boarding pass anymore. Yeah,
so it's really cool, but you have to build a good user experience around it. I actually blogged about this a couple months ago. I was trying this service, and I was coming up to the first check-in point, security, and then I realized that I checked in 24 hours ago. Right now, I'm the kind of person that gets like 100 emails a day. So I'm in front of the security person, and now I have to look through my inbox to search for the email I got yesterday from Delta, right? Yeah. Okay, I have to step out of line, search, go back in line, because it takes me a couple minutes. Then the next thing that happens, I get into the actual gate. I have to, but now I can quickly find the email, right? But I need to click the link in the email to get the barcode, because it's really a link to a website, and I have no connectivity. There's no network coverage there. How do I check in? So basically, these industries, in this case, it's really the travel industry that built this standard for mobile boarding passes. Yep. They're building bits and pieces of it, but you really need a very strong experience to tie everything together, something that considers the user experience end to end, tries to figure out what it is the traveler wants to do, needs to do, and what's convenient, what's not convenient. And this is really where we come into play ultimately, because we collect all this information, your itinerary information, your flight status, your location, and so on. And we try and bring it together in a way that for you, the traveler, everything is there when you need it. You know ahead of time of something that you should know about. When something happens, you can make a decision right there and then. It's not...
Yeah, this morning we flew from San Antonio and our phone said, oh, the plane is 2 hours late. Well, this was at 5 in the morning, and so we got an extra hour of sleep,
Yeah.
But you almost question whether this information is good, or whether whether we can really sleep another hour, or whether we should get to the airport, because you don't have the trust of these systems yet.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes, first of all, trust is a big thing, and the ability to trust a new medium is ultimately one of the things that delays adoption or really paces adoption. You have to. It takes a while until something is adopted, but it's always like that. One of the guys on our advisory board, Brent Hoberman, who was the founder of lastminute.com, he told me a couple years ago about how when they first launched lastminute.com, they had traffic, they had people coming searching for deals, searching for hotels, and they grew the traffic numbers really well, but people weren't booking. And then 2 years passed and people started booking, and he said, we really didn't change that much. It's just that
they got used to it.
They got over the hurdle. They tried once, they saw it works. Okay, I'm really going to get a hotel after I put my credit card on the internet. So that's some of it really, and just kind of, I didn't mean to go there, but it leads me to the transactions that we're going to see on mobile devices. We put mobile hotel booking in the market about a year and a half ago, initially on the BlackBerry, then on the iPhone, and we're really seeing a nice adoption curve. It's once people realize, first of all, it's there. Second, that it works. They're going to have a bed to sleep in after they go through this. And third, that it's convenient.
Yep.
They adopt it, and lo and behold, they actually find out that it's convenient for them not to have to, being able to delay the decision to the last minute in case they change a trip they haven't booked. And I think this is where, coming back to your question about the travel industry, this is where the travel industry is going to be hit by this a little bit, because they'll be seeing a lot of transactions, the ones where you're not concerned if there will be availability, delayed until the last minute, because people will want to only make a decision at the last minute.
Can WorldMate tell me that the hotels in the area I want to be in are about to run out?
Well, theoretically,
airplanes are doing that now, right?
Yeah.
I can see there's 5 seats left in the airplane I want to take to Paris. Okay, I can wait a couple more days to buy my ticket, And if it gets down to 2, then I know I better buy it because I'm going to be out of luck.
Yeah. So incidentally, both regards the airplanes, that's something that's coming. With regards to hotel, well, WorldMate doesn't currently tell you that we're running out, but it does remind you that you need to book. If we see that you have an itinerary, you have a trip planned, and you still haven't booked, we remind you that you need to book. We do that initially via email. Then 24 hours before your trip, we do it directly on your mobile device. We remind you of your trip. We tell you, hey, you're going to London tomorrow. Here's the weather, so you'll know what to pack. By the way, you still haven't booked the hotel, and it just happens that we have this list of hotels available for under whatever, just right near where your meetings are. And one of the things we just added a couple months ago is we also tell you, here's where you stayed in the past in London, so maybe you want to book the same hotel. So yes, we do tell you how many hotels we still have available. So I guess we do that in a way.
Do you hook into rating systems like TripAdvisor has lots of ratings, and Google? I just bought a vacation thing, and every hotel we looked at, we went to Google to look for bad reviews. My friend taught me this, right? Search Google for stayed at a hotel name, Marriott, right? Because if somebody didn't like their experience, they're going to say, I stayed at the Marriott and I had a bad experience. So they'll write that on their blog or in Twitter or whatever, and it'll show up on the Google result, right?
So we don't currently hook into reviews, although that's definitely something we're considering doing. And it's kind of a murky area. You know, I'm just back from a travel marketing conference where social media was like a whole day, and they were talking about how some of the review sites are now rigged, and how maybe, you know, not doing it through just going on such a site, but going to your personal social network where you know it's your friends and they're not going to lie to you, they'll tell you what they like, is maybe a better way of doing that. So we're still looking at what way to do it. One thing we do, however, and it's pretty unique, we build your profile as a user, what you prefer with regards to brand, price, you know, budget, amenities. Like there's people who want to stay at a place that doesn't have a gym. Okay, we'll take that into account, and we rank the available hotels by, you know, these factors. And the main reason we do it is because, in as much as we're talking about booking on a mobile device, if you're booking at the last minute on a mobile device, you don't want to go through 20 hotels and research. You want to see a list when you know one of the top 2 or 3 is going to be what I need, and I'll just click through. Hopefully that, you know, kind of social review thing evolve. I've just seen some new companies start in that space that I really like, and maybe we'll tie into that. Maybe we'll do our own, because, you know, with the number of users we have a total of over 5.5 million users. Wow. And it's so easy for us to just pop up a message after they're on the way to the flight back home, pop up and, how did you like your hotel stay? You know, just click here, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, or also write a short review. We may decide to do it ourselves, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it in conjunction with someone else. It's still not there, but it's certainly something we're looking to do.
What else? Give me a sense of some of the other things that WorldMate does on the phone. What?
Yeah. So, well, this is just what I was telling you about before. It's the that message that, well, basically that briefing that you get the day before your trip with, hey, you still need to book a hotel. I have 20 hotels for you in Burbank. Here are the people you know in LinkedIn that are going to be in LA, and your flight information and so on. But just kind of covering things more broadly. First of all, we manage your itinerary. We build it automatically. We take both your travel bookings from the confirmation emails and your meetings that we get directly from the calendar, build one coherent itinerary. Everything is according to the right time zone, geocoded, so you can see everything on a map, navigate instantly, and so on. We put it on your device, then we enable various, you know, real-time actions. Like if the flight, you may want to check, you know, flight status in real time. So one click and you're through to status. I won't do it now. Well, no delays posted.
This morning I found out my flight was late, right?
Yeah.
And do you show me things like best seats? You know, because I always Rocky and I always show up at the counter, and we always have crappy seats, and we always have to ask the flight attendant, you know, the flight counter person, you know, what's the best seat. Now we know that there's some other services where we can actually see the map of the plane, and Seat Guru kind of thing, so we can see, are there exit rows available, or, you know, can we upgrade it into a better class or something like that? So
we don't do it here, but we link to the check-in on the website too, which is where most people do the check-in now, and we link to that type of information there. But we are considering doing it on the mobile as well. It's quite possible now, given some of our content partners. We provide you stuff like, you know, you have a hotel booking, click to see the hotel on the map and navigate to it, click to dial, you know, call the hotel, ask where the shuttle is, stuff like that. And the same thing with any other type of item that you may have, car rental and so on and so forth. Now we have a lot of content around this that we would use in the context of your itinerary. So we have everything from weather, not so good here in San Francisco today, through currencies, flight schedules, obviously real-time flight status, and down to local search using Yelp, our partners at Yelp. And basically we wrap all of this around your current location and your current itinerary. So we would monitor your flights, tell you if they're not on time, but then one click, and it'll tell you what alternative flights are scheduled. Such, you can change your flight to something that's not delayed or not canceled. Given that most of our audience are business travelers, we're talking about people whose time means a lot to them. So if you're a business traveler and your flight's delayed, sometimes you'll just stay in bed another hour. That's great. But sometimes you'll be looking, okay, how do I get to my meeting? Because I don't want to miss that client meeting. Yeah. I want to get there, or I want to go home. Find me something else. So for us, it's not just about prompting you that there's a problem. It's also about around helping you solve it and completing the.
How many? So you have 5 million users. What's the infrastructure of your company? Do you have data centers all over the world?
So we actually use Rackspace as awesome. A data hosting. Yeah, I was chatting in the corridor about this as a data hosting partner. They help us a lot because being so focused on the managed travel space, on the corporate travel space, we've just signed deals with people like American Express and Carlson Wagon Lee and Travelport and their customers, big banks, Fortune 100s. These companies, they care about their data, right?
Yep.
It's front and center, and working with a partner that has the right setup and the right abilities with regards to resiliency, with regards to data protection, privacy. It's just critical. So we work with some pretty big guys to serve customers all over the world.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much. Anything else I should know about what you guys are doing?
Well, I think TripCatch is, from our perspective, just the first step in taking the travel experience and making it even deeper, making it even more integrated with the mobile device experience. We'll be doing a lot more around this with regards to location and what does your location mean in conjunction with your plans with regards to what you need right now. Taking it deeper into stuff that people use all the time, the email, the calendar, the PIM, and social networks. Our LinkedIn thing is taking off very nice, and we're going to do this on more social networks. And again, with our ability to bring all the context into place and automate the process, just one click and everybody knows where you are, or one click and you know where everyone else is, or we actually don't have to click and we just tell you that you're going to a place where someone is going to be.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for giving me a little view into the world of travel. I could talk to you for hours because we do a lot of travel
I'm
here.
Sure you do.
And there's lots of places I'd like to see the travel industry go when they get better mobile phones out there. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Robert.